Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Capital Talk with RVBusiness. Joining me as always is Sherman Goldenberg. I'm Rick Kessler, and with us today is Tom Dempsey, the founder and CEO of SylvanSport. Tom, thanks much for your time.
Glad to be here, Rick and Sherm.
So SylvanSport, we just asked you, how would you describe SylvanSport? And you had a pretty good answer. It's an adventure company to make camping comfortable. Is that about right?
That's about right. Yes, our roots are in adventure gear. And as we saw the adventurous outdoor users kind of migrating into the RV space, SylvanSport was created 17 years ago to basically make, redefine, I guess, what's the entry point to the RV space and make it comfortable and convenient and adventurous.
Now, I think most people watching this video are going to know SylvanSport, the SylvanSport Go, the SylvanSport Go Easy. Gosh, I've heard those described any number of ways. Swiss Army knife of camping trailers is one way, but how have those done for you? How would you describe what they can do?
Yeah, the Go was our flagship product that we launched the company on, and it really was a complete reinvention of the pop-up camper. And as I said, we looked at it like a piece of technical gear. So it's made out of aluminum and plastic, kind of like a mountain bike mashed up with a kayak would be made, and using the materials and processes and design familiar to outdoor gear folks. Honestly, I think we were a little bit ahead of the curve on that, unknowingly so. And what's been really gratifying over the last couple of years is the market and demand and the type of products people are looking for have matched up perfectly with what we're offering. And so the last few years, the Go has just exploded and been on fire. Much of the RV industry, of course, is as well. So we recognize that, but we're very grateful for what the last few years have brought, even before the pandemic, changed the game for us and everyone else. So the Go's been doing great. The Go Easy is a smaller companion that we launched maybe 5 years ago, and it's really coming into its own. It has a really nice little 2-person camper pod called the Breeze, which we're introducing to really make it a really neat little camper for under $5,000. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we've got some new stuff brewing as well.
I think that's a good segue to the new stuff that's brewing. Most recently, it's the, and I don't think you even have a name for it yet. It's got a code name, but it's the electric motorhome that you've partnered with a Minnesota company on. What's that all about?
Yeah, the project leading the charge, and we're partnered with Zeus Electric Chassis Company in Minneapolis. It really follows on the heels of our vast travel trailer, which we launched and began shipping earlier this year. And it's Zeus is really a phenomenal technology leader in the electric work truck space. And so that's a space they've chosen to focus on. And the technology that they've developed, both in conventional suspension systems, electrified drive systems, and then electric power takeoff systems to power all the non-drive, components of the vehicle, are perfectly suited to a motorhome. And so we had some great relationships with the team at Zeus prior to, from other work we've done, and watching what they've done, it just couldn't be a better fit for where we see our future taking us. And that's in the space of, everything from the Go camper at the entry level to this fully laden, beautifully executed, full featured, all electric motorhome.
It's a big step for a company, for any company, but for a company of your size too, right?
It is a big step, and as I mentioned, we've been in business now for 17 years. So hopefully we've learned a few things about how to make good products, and I think we have, and we've always been good designers and engineers. So that part is most gratifying, to really take our company to where we've always envisioned it going. And some things, in the marketplace just made our path to get where we want to go a little bit slower here and there, but we're on track and loving it.
Elaborate, if you would, where you you wanted to be, where you wanted to go?
Yeah, no, great question, Sherm. In the first Go was delivered in October of 2008. So we couldn't have launched the company at a more challenging time, with the 2008 recession, which really dampened our out of the gate spirits for a couple of years and slowed things down. We resumed forward motion, as I call it, in about 2011, from just trying to figure out a pathway to survival to restarting the company in essence. And then we have slowly built the Go sales since then. We launched the Vast in 2018 at the RVX show. And so we've always had our eyes set on, the more mainstream components of the RV industry. But the timing of EV evolution and our design and engineering efforts to bring a motorhome to life just really meshed up well in the last year. So those EV opportunities that Zeus brings to the table really weren't part of the equation 2-3 years ago. So that's what I kind of mean by timing. It's all converged right now at an ideal spot for us.
So on that EV motorhome, tell us where you're at with that particular product. Are you in production yet, or do you have any retail pricing? How's one of the knocks on EVs has always been how far they can go on a charge. What are some of those details as well?
Yes, well, great questions. The Zeus chassis is just entering production, so they've made a number of them, and their primary market is in the work truck space. So with that being their primary market, it's really all about pragmatic functionality. This thing does have to have a very good range. It does have to be very heavy duty and reliable. With that said, their solutions with their chassis meet those demands. They've got ranges that are roughly in the 400-mile range, depending on the battery configurations. They've got capacities of 14,000 pounds, and they've got really robust capacity for power takeoff. As I said, the primary intention being work trucks. So their platform is very nicely established and proving itself in the market. Our technologies that we pioneered internally to construct our Vast travel trailers, which really haven't become a mainstream well-known in the RV space, but they are made very different from most travel trailers. And what makes them nice is the construction techniques and the materials we use are really bomb-proof. And so combining that approach to building a living space on top of Zeus's technology for the driving side of the chassis is what makes me excited about this. Where we are, we're still a good year to 18 months away from delivering the first one. So this is very much out of the gate. We're working on testing and prototyping and that stuff right now. But yeah, I would say, early 2023 is what we're targeting for a delivery date.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was going to wrap it up, but if you have another question, Sherm.
No, more of a statement. Again, I'm reminded of just how big this EV thing is in North America, let alone the rest of the world. I mean, the fact that we're having this conversation, go back 5 years, go back 7 years, it would not even be a dream. Yeah, right. Yeah, SylvanSport is going to introduce an electric vehicle, motorized in itself, being a huge step for you, for your company. And so, yeah, it's just unbelievable in building. You can tell in the next year to 3, it's going to double, triple what we've seen.
Yes, it is very real. That's what's most exciting about it. Is you're right. It is no longer a dream. It's upon us, and it's real. And even more testimony to that is the fact that much of the demand for our Goes that are super popular right now is driven by current EV owners. We have more Tesla owners buying Goes than you could ever imagine, because at 800 pounds, it's something that they can tow with a Tesla and has very minimal wind drag, so it's not a big detriment to their range on their EV.
You know, we're out of time, and I wanted to maybe briefly, before we do sign off, touch on it's been 1 year now since you guys have partnered with backcountry.com. You already mentioned that you've crossed the divide into the outdoor gear market. Gosh, with I'm going to say, look at my notes here, Dynamite and Dynamax, the kitchen setups, those are awesome. Bedding, packs, tents, lighting, clothing. This divide where the outdoor retail, outdoor gear with RVs is really, you're one of the first companies to really successfully make that transition.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Rick, because I kind of look at it that we actually went the other way. We came out of that space. You know, prior to SylvanSport, I was manufacturing kayaks, and I was at the outdoor retailer show with all the types of gear that you just described. And that's the roots of our company. So we took that gear thinking and applied it to RVs with the Go. And now we're kind of coming full circle to bring the gear into our full array. And it's always just like the leading the charge motorized, electric motorized RV was part of our early dreams. The gear was also part of our early dreams for this company. And what I love about it is, you know how traditionally in the RV industry, we really are an extreme cyclical business. The gear really helps to temper that. It gives us a lot of products that cross over into general lifestyle and get used on a much more frequent basis by the consumers. And so therefore they buy them in a more broad time frame, you know, and it's not as susceptible to the economic trends that buffet our industry so much.
And the gear thing is going well.
It's going great. It is absolutely going great. Yep.
All
That's
right.
excellent.
All right, Rick, take us away.
Take us away. So I look forward to early 2023. I can log on to backcountry.com and buy myself an electric motorhome from SylvanSport.
And let us know when we can do a preview, you know, in less than that, you know, take a peek.
Thank you. I will absolutely keep you guys at the top of the list on that. Can't wait to share that with you.
All right.
Thanks
you.
again, Tom.
You bet. Thank you, guys. So we're heading down from the SylvanSport Go line to the vast production line where we're putting together the vast travel trailers. And of course, when they saw me coming, all the guys scattered like rats.
This is in North Carolina.
Yes, we are in Brevard, North Carolina. And this is, as I said, this is the production line here for the vast. They're just getting underway, but got a couple of them in progress here and a couple more chassis underway over in this side of the line.
Square footage.
Tom, how big is your facility?
60,000 square feet and soon to be growing from that. So.
And what you've done is you've taken the Vast and modified it so that it can fit on the Zeus chassis.
Well, not quite.
Okay.
That is a very quick and dirty way to describe it. But the truth is, and I'm looking around for some examples of this, we've pioneered some pretty cool materials that we put the Vast together with. I mean, some really beefy extrusions that make up the construction, some really advanced composite panels that are proprietary, and the combination of these panels, and let me see if I can find, I was trying to find a corner that would show you kind of how we build these things. It's all either aluminum or composite in this. So we actually model our construction of the Vast body. And forgive me, the noise is a little bit loud here and there, but we model it after the way tractor trailers build their sleeper cabs. So it's very automotive in its construction, and so that construction process lends really well to the motorized vehicle. But you can kind of, this is actually all of what you're seeing here gets concealed once the vehicle is done. So this piece is the It's a really heavy duty aluminum piece that's mechanically fastened and bonded to the composite piece. It makes up the inner corner, and then there's an outer corner that covers that. So it's really put together like no other travel trailer.
Tom, thanks so much for the tour. That's awesome.
Yeah, sorry it's a little rough looking. If I staged it a few minutes before we started, it probably would look a little better. But
No,
all
it's,
right, guys.
it's fine. It helped give some animation, so to speak, to our whole deal here. So
Yep, sounds great. As you can tell, we've got stuff squeezed in just about every area. So hence the soon to be announced expansion.